In this video, we're going to look at the first bag I purchased from 7 different fashion houses. I'll tell you what I paid for them originally, what they're worth now, and this may help us think a little bit about whether it's really smart to think of handbags as investments. Stay tuned. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to my channel is you get to see my community post on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals, discount codes, sales, and rare finds related to these beautiful things we love. So the first bags I purchased from 7 different fashion houses. Let me first tell you what fashion houses they are, and I'll say these in the order that I'll be talking about them today. The first is Portland Leather Goods, then Tory Burch, Coach, Henry's Leather, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and we will end things with one of the most spectacular handbags in my collection, and it's from Fendi. Now, I was tagged to do a version of this video by both Caleb Snell and Totes Jean. I will have their videos linked below. The original tag was started by Handbagaholic, and it was to show the first 7 bags in your collection. And she didn't specify whether they were luxury bags or whatever. If I started with my luxury collection and just told you about the first 7 bags that I purchased, I feel like it would be kind of boring, because it's a lot of Louis Vuitton canvas bags that are like the staple bags, the Neverfull, the Speedy, the Noé. And I thought switching it up and doing the first bag from 7 different fashion houses would be more interesting. So here we go. We're starting with Portland Leather Goods. Now, as many of you know, I have quite a few bags from Portland Leather Goods. I think that's the biggest collection of any one brand that I have, and that's because they are just so affordable. And I really like them, and they're easy to wear, and they're practical. And some of you know too, I've worked with them. So they have sent me, I think, 2 mystery boxes. It might only be 1, but I think it's 2. Everything else that I have from Portland Leather, I have purchased myself. And the very first bag I got from them, the one that started it all, is right behind me. Let me grab it. And that's this one. This is the mini crossbody in the color mint. Now, I have a video from earlier this year called 5 Handbag Brands I Both Love and Am Repulsed By, and I included Portland Leather Goods on that list. That was before I ever purchased one. When I saw this one, this color, and this was, I think, in the middle of the Tiffany blue trend that we had this year, like with the collaboration between Fendi and Tiffany, and then all of a sudden everybody had Tiffany blue bags. This is a similar color to that, and I've always loved that color, as so many people do, but this really drew me in, and I purchased it from the pre-loved market for $85. I found it on eBay, and I got it pre-loved because, if you're familiar with Portland Leather Goods, a lot of the colors and leathers that they offer are not available to purchase directly from them unless you get them in a mystery box, or you have access to go to their outlet and they happen to have one there. So you'd have to be in the Portland, Oregon area. So I purchased this pre-loved online. It's in immaculate condition. I love this color so much. And as many of you know, that started me off on my Portland Leather Goods obsession. And now I have, I don't even know how many bags from them. By the way, Portland Leather Goods and all of the other bags that I have to show you today that are still available, whether new or pre-loved, I will have everything linked below. So if there's something you're interested in, it'll be easy for you to find. Next on my list is Tory Burch. Now, I was never that interested in Tory Burch, and I still only have a few bags from them. I generally find them to be overpriced for what they are. Kind of like Coach. They have a lot of bags that I'm not really happy with the quality of, but then there are some that are a little higher end that I really love, and I think are worth the money, but it can be hard to justify spending that money on a contemporary brand when you could spend the same amount of money and get a luxury brand bag. So the very first bag I ever purchased from Tory Burch, I don't have anymore. I sold it. It was a Kira bag in taupe. Beautiful bag. I just never carried it. But the first bag that I do still have in my collection is this, the Lee Radziwill. This is in the largest size, and this is an eel. That's the leather that you're seeing there. This is such a beautiful bag. It's a really It's kind of a strange color because it's a little orangey, but it's close enough to being brown that it passes as a brown for me. Oh, also, any of the bags that you see today, I will link below the videos that I have showing those bags in more detail. But this bag I think is just spectacular because of the leather. I also love the layout of it with the pockets on the front and back, and then the two big compartments in the middle. I have all these bags stuffed, but it's just fabulous. And then it has a longer strap too you can put over your shoulder. This bag I purchased brand new in January of this year from Nordstrom, and I paid $1,118 for it. And it was one of the last that were available. When I looked today to see if I could find another one online somewhere, I couldn't. So this is going to be one of a few bags that I'm showing you today that, as far as I can tell, just aren't available for purchase anymore. Certainly not new, but even on the pre-loved market, which tells me the people who have purchased these have loved them and kept them. Now I also have the same bag, but in the medium size, or like the regular size. I forget what they're called. This one's in a mock croc in black. That one's very pretty. You can find a lot of Lee Radziwill bags pre-loved, and they tend to be quite a bit cheaper pre-loved. So if you're thinking about one and you're not getting like a really fancy one or something that you can't find pre-loved, I would definitely recommend going the pre-loved market. I would caution you that there are fakes of some of the more popular of these bags. So do your research, watch some videos comparing the real ones with the fake ones to educate yourself about that, and then have at it and have fun. The third brand that I have to talk about is Coach. And the very first bag I ever got from Coach, I don't have anymore. It was this one. I picked this up when I was in grad school, and some friends took me up to the Woodbury Commons outlet in New York, and I got it from the outlet there. I don't know if this was an outlet bag or if it was a retail bag sold at the outlet. Back then they had more retail at the outlet than they do now. I think I paid, I don't know, somewhere between $40 and maybe $80 or $90 for this bag, which was a lot for me back then. And this was maybe my first, what I would call a designer bag ever. And I was so proud of it and so excited about it, and I carried it to death. I had it for a long time. But the first Coach bag that I've purchased more recently, and that I still have in my collection, is the Coach Cassie. This is what got me back into Coach, because Coach sort of fell out, you guys know this, where they started releasing bags that were not the quality that Coach used to be. For me, I feel like the Coach Cassie, and I purchased this brand new in June of 2019 for $350. I feel like this is where they started to rise up again. People started buying Coach, and now I have lots of Coach bags, and the Coach bags I have in my collection are one of my favorite collections from a particular fashion house. Some of my most rare and most special bags are from Coach. This is a more common bag, and I get confused about whether they make this regular size Cassie anymore, because it seems like they don't, but then you see it pop up every once in a while in different places. I checked on the pre-loved sites, and the black Coach Cassie, just like this one, is going from anywhere between $270 and $425. So it seems to have held its value pretty well, depending on condition and who's trying to sell it. There are other colors that are worth a lot more because they're a lot harder to find. And of course they do still make the Cassie 19, which is the smaller bag that has a little bit of a longer top handle and the crossbody strap. This also has the crossbody strap. And those are available brand new starting at $300. The next fashion house I'll tell you about is another one that I just discovered this year, just like Portland Leather Goods, and this is Henry's Leather. And the first bag I got from them is right there. Let me get it. And if I remember correctly, I bought a few bags in my first purchase, and this is one of them. So technically there are a couple of bags that are my first from them, but this is one of my favorites. When I think of my Henry's collection, this one comes to mind first generally. I need to do a Henry's collection video at some point. I have another one coming soon. Oh, I was going to tell you that because right now, so this video is going live on November 7th of 2023. Tomorrow is the last day of a sale that they're having right now, 30% off. They do those throughout the year, so if you miss one, don't worry about it, just wait for the next one. in a few weeks or so. Henry's is sold through the Dooney & Bourke website, so the entire Dooney site is 30% off. Henry's, I have mixed information about them too. It seems like it's a brand that's not making bags anymore. That's the impression I've had because the stock just dwindles and doesn't seem to be replenished. But recently some new bags were added, most of which are gone now. So I don't know what to tell you about that, other than if you see something on the Henry's website, especially during a 30% off sale, which is the only time I buy them, grab it, because they are likely to sell out. All right, back to this one. This is the crossbody bag. It comes in two sizes. This is the larger of the two sizes. Currently, they don't have any of the crossbody bags on the website, but they have some other great bags, so go check those out. This retails for $300. With the 30% off, I got it for $210, which is so, like, I can't stress to you enough what a great value this is. These are US or Italian made bags. They're fabulous leather. Some have palladium hardware, some have nickel. It depends on the version you get. I have videos about Henry's I can link below. And like I said, I can't give you an updated price on this because this bag is sold out at the moment. I don't know if it'll come back or not, but go check out that sale. It will be linked below. Next, one of our very favorite luxury fashion houses, Chanel. I thought I would never own Chanel because they are so expensive, but when you start looking on the pre-loved market, and if you're open to more things than the classic flap or even the reissue, you'll find that there is a lot of Chanel for price points that are equivalent to other luxury brands like Louis Vuitton. And often they are in leather, whereas Louis Vuitton is more canvas. So my first Chanel bag is this one. This is called the Shopping in Moscow tote. This one is in bronze, a metallic leather, and I just love this. It's so different, but I love all the textures, the quilting. I think it's really beautiful, and then the shimmer of that bronze. It has the palladium hardware, it has the leather running through the chain here, and then the softer shoulder straps at the top. And it's so beautiful that I got myself a second one in black. And I'll tell you what I paid for both of those. So this bronze one I got from Fashion File in April of 2019, and I paid only $895 for that. It's definitely worth more. It's like a reissue because it has that crinkly leather, but it's also soft and it has quilting. I can't tell you how much I love these bags. And then the black one, this one I got from the Real Real for $1,375. That's what they had it listed for, but it was on sale. I got $400 something off. So I ended up paying $962.50. So I got each of these two bags for under $1,000 for Chanel. That's amazing. So I searched online today and I found 4 that are currently available for sale. And of course these would all be pre-loved. And I purchased mine pre-loved. See, there are 2 in black. One of them is $2,500. Again, I paid under $1,000. And the other is $2,435. So I got fantastic deals. What I have noticed about these bags, because when I first showed these two, a lot of people responded positively and wanted to know where they could get some. And it seems like since I bought these, every time I have looked them up for people, the prices go up. That's a bag where I don't remember what the original retail price was, several $1,000s. It went way down, and I happened to buy the 2 of them when they were really low, but they're starting to go back up in value. So those blacks are about $2,500. And then I found 2 that are cheaper. One is in cream, it's $1,707, and then one in burgundy for $1,610. So all those are more expensive. If I wanted to turn around and sell these, I could get a lot more for them than what I paid. Those are keepers. They're staying in the collection. So I did well with those. If you're thinking, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that we could talk about the investment property of handbags, and it just really, really depends, and you don't always know what's going to happen with the value of a bag. One of the reasons that I buy pre-loved is because I feel like most often if you buy something, a luxury bag, brand new, and you pay those brand new prices, the price is going to decrease. It may be drastic, it may not be that drastic, but I think with most luxury bags, if you're paying brand new, you're not going to be able to resell for the same price or more. You're going to lose some money. If you buy pre-loved and you get them at better prices, but still in great condition, for me, I feel like that's a better investment in terms of if you ever want or need to turn around and sell those bags. A lot of them are going to hold their value better since you paid less for them in the first place. Those 2 Chanel bags have gone up, so I'm fortunate with that. Now let's talk about a bag that I bought pre-loved, but the value has since gone down on it, and that's a bag from Louis Vuitton. Anytime I have done a video where I talk about the very first luxury bag I ever purchased, I've always said it's the Louis Vuitton Trevi in the GM size, which is almost this bag. I'll explain that in a second. However, as I was prepping for this video, I realized I've been lying to you this whole time because I remembered there's another bag from another brand that we'll talk about next that was actually my first luxury bag, and I had completely forgotten about it. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the Trevi. A lot of you, if you've been around for a while on my channel, already know the story. So my first Louis Vuitton bag, or my first bag besides the other one I'll tell you about, or the first luxury bag I ever purchased that started me on this entire luxury collection thing and YouTube was the Louis Vuitton Trevi in the GM size. From the time I saw that bag, and I don't remember the first time I saw it, I thought it was one of the most beautiful handbags I'd ever seen. I still think that. I think this is a gorgeous bag. I'll give you a little spin of it here. You can see the shoulder strap on the front. I just love it. I'm a sucker for a bag with pleats, and this has quite a few of them. It's gorgeous. So I bought the GM. I got it pre-loved. I got it from Bag Borrower Steele, and I paid $1,255 for it. And the reason that I was able to justify spending that much money on one handbag, which I had never before done in my life, never even close to that, was because of YouTube. Because I started watching YouTube videos, I learned about the pre-loved market, and I learned how a lot of these bags hold their value so well. This really plays into what I just said about buying new versus pre-loved. Because the Trevi bags, when they retailed from Louis Vuitton brand new, were around $3,500. But I got this, like I said, for $1,255. Now, I ended up selling that bag a few years later for two reasons. One, the GM size was just too big and heavy for me. And then two, the pleats weren't straight and it started to drive me crazy and I was never able to fix it, so I sold it. And the person who bought it is Nancy Carness, and she has a YouTube channel too, so I will link that below. She talks about that very bag sometimes. Maybe, if I remember correctly, a year or so after I sold that, I purchased the PM size, which is what this is. So this is the Louis Vuitton Trevi PM, not the GM. This is my perfect Trevi bag. This is the right size for me. It's still a heavy bag. It's substantial. It has a lot of hardware. It works a lot better for me. And from the time I bought the first bag to the time I bought the PM, the prices on the Trevi were decreasing. So $3,500 brand new. The GM I paid $1,255 for. This PM I paid $1,050 from Fashion File in May of 2020. The GM, by the way, I purchased in 2016, if I didn't say that. The prices on these have since gone down even lower. So this is a bag where if I tried to sell it now, I wouldn't necessarily be able to make back what I paid for it. Although, I don't know, I got a really good price and I probably could, looking at my notes here. I looked online, I saw them anywhere, and this was PM or GM. The size doesn't matter so much of the pricing on these. The condition is really what makes the price higher or lower. So I saw these anywhere from $700, oh my God, all the way up to $1,445, which is still less than half of the original retail price and not that much more than what I paid for this PM. So yeah, if you are thinking about handbags as investments, if you're trying to make money from them, that's not always the best idea. You can't really predict the market. So what I would recommend, if you're someone like me who can't afford to go into the store and pay brand new prices all the time, but you love these bags, buy bags you love from the pre-loved market and get the absolute best condition that you can for whatever price point you can afford. And that way, again, if you do ever need to sell a bag or you just want to sell a bag, you haven't been using it, whatever, you want to pass it on, you're more likely to get what you paid out of it. And even if you don't, even if you lose money, at least you've had a bag that you've really loved and you've been able to enjoy it, even if it just sat on your shelf. And now it's time to talk about Fendi. Here's a revelation for all of us. My very first luxury bag, I just remembered as I was making notes on this video, was a Fendi bag. It was this one right here. I don't have it anymore. I purchased it on Etsy and I don't know the name of it. It was a crossbody, all leather, inside and out. It was that exact bag though. And I got it in 2014, so that was 2 years before I got my first Louis Vuitton bag, and I only paid $207 for it, and that was a lot of money for me back then. I could not find another one of those on the internet. A lot of that has to do with not knowing what it was called, but the next Fendi bag that I bought, I do still have in my collection, and it is one of the most incredible bags that I have, and it's sitting right behind me, so let me grab it. This, God, I love how this bag sparkles in the light. This is the Fendi Peekaboo in the mini size, and it is covered in beads and sequins. So there's a sequin and then there's a bead in the same color on top of that. Oh, this bag is one of my prized pieces. I love it so much, and I do actually carry this. I'm very careful with it when I carry it, but I do carry it. It comes with a crossbody strap. You're not going to believe the prices I'm about to give you for this bag. It's very rare to see these up for sale on the pre-loved market. I found one other one that had already sold. It was in a different colorway. It had black leather. This one has navy, and the sequins and beads were slightly different colors. They were more rainbow, whereas this is more, I think, fall colors. That bag, pre-loved, sold for $3,261. I also found very similar, but not the same bag, mini peekaboo with sequins, but they were different sequins, different colorway too, from the spring 2016 Fendi collection, and that bag retailed, so I'm guessing this retail was around the same. That bag retailed for $7,260. Very expensive. Guess what I paid? I got this bag in April of 2022 from Fashion File. It was a new arrival. It had only been there maybe a few hours. However long it was there, I'm surprised that I got my hands on it at this price and someone didn't beat me to it. Remember, $7,000 brand new for an almost identical bag, $3,000 something pre-loved for the same bag in a different colorway. I got it for $995. Can you believe that? This is a forever bag for me. I mean, look, if I ever really needed money, that is one of the things that I feel comfortable about buying these bags for, is that, especially something like this, I know for certain I'd be able to get a lot more for it than what I paid. If you want to find deals like that, you just have to be vigilant about checking the pre-loved sites all the time. That's how I have found the deals that I have found on bags like this in my collection. I never buy anything with the intent to resell it, but I do try to be smart about my purchases. If there's something that I see that I love like this, and I know that it's an incredible price and that somebody probably forgot to put a 1 or a 2 or a 3 in front of the number. One thing I have learned doing this over the years is when you see that kind of thing happen, you buy it that second. You don't wait, you don't stop to think about it, because when I've done that, somebody else buys it and then I've regretted it. So that's a tip for you. If you see an incredible deal and you know you love the bag and you can get it, then get it. Don't wait. Thank you again to Caleb Snell and Totes Jean for tagging me to do this video, and to Handbagholic for starting the tag. Remember, the original tag was the first 7 bags in your collection. I altered it a little bit, but I am going to tag quite a few people here. Winnie B. LV, Yota Style, Styled by Gwenny, Dawn Loves Couture, Cammy's Closet, Fuchsia Floyd, Devin Christopher, James Jam, Ed Braun, David's Closet, Nancy Carness, Living Life Loud with NJS, Dale's Addiction, Living Lux with Meredith. I would love to know what her first 7 bags were, and I wonder if she even knows. How would you keep track at this point? And anybody else who wants to do this tag, please jump in. So what were the first 7 bags in your collection, or the first bag from 7 different fashion houses, or however many you have? What were your first bags? Let me know in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.